when did the idea of an album pop up? Was it from the start, or did it kind of gradually occur to you, well, we might as well do an album?
Well, I think we've been working on each other's projects throughout the years. Like, I mean, Tuomas has composed a song for my solo album, and he's come and played on one song, and vice versa. There's been this spirit of collaboration in the air, but we felt like we needed more. Like, what we wanted was to be let loose in music, like really go and explore the wilderness.
It was evident from the very beginning that there was going to be a physical piece of music, an album at some point.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. And we were lucky in that we have possibly the greatest record company that's ever lived.
That's true.
You know, to help us, because they never once said to us, "Oh, we've got to have it by then because we need to release it by then." But they're the most open-minded record company in the world, and the best record company in the world. So they just went, "Yeah, and they genuinely understood it, got it. You know, when we sent the music for them to listen to, they really loved it, but in a really lovely way, in a genuine way. It wasn't like, it's really good. And then, it was very nice. God, that's terrible. You didn't get the sense of that at all. You know, it was like, we really love this. We never had any pressure from the record company. We were allowed to do exactly what we wanted.
Which is so rare.
It's ultra rare in these days, because back in the classic rock period of the 70s, record companies used to actually encourage artists to develop. So they would make a rotten album, but they wouldn't be instantly thrown out. They would go, we really believe in this band. So they'd make another album and they'd go, that's more like, that feels better. Those days are long gone. No, they don't exist anymore. Now it's, how many did it sell? Nah, off, gone, you know. So that whole, that spirit of true artistry in the record industry is alive and well in Nuclear Blast.
That's very good to hear.
It is, though. It's true, isn't it?
Yes.
Completely true.
And in terms of the moods and themes, then, were you looking for something? Because you say you didn't have a deadline. Were you looking for certain feelings, certain emotions, certain tones?
It was all there. I mean,
it was.
Inspiration was there, the stories were there. And then it just, for some reason, stopped at 11 songs. Okay. And then we realized we have it.
Yeah, it did. It stopped at 11 songs.
Effortless, natural.
And the road that we went on to, we knew where we started. The end was obvious. But the up and down of the road that we go on, the emotional journey of it is really exciting.
Right.
You know, it goes from the most uplifting, bright, dark, melancholic, happy, everything, and then it ends up in this absolutely fantastic dance. You know, in the woods. You know, it's quite a trip if you get on the right bus to go on the trip. It's really quite something. You've got to find the right bus, though.
With that in mind, then, I want to look at maybe one or two songs a little bit more in depth, and a couple that stuck out for me was, for instance, Underthing Solstice.
Oh yeah.
So,
it's an incense fused. It's like incense and sandstone for me, and it's something ancient, breathing in the present.
The original version of that song was somewhat different. Actually, it was much more grandiose.
So it was.
It was more epic.
It was.
I never saw it being anything else. And then I remember him suggesting it, that how about, let's go more medieval.
And candlelit.
Candlelit, more church organ.
Absolutely.
And immediately I knew. That's one of the beautiful things about this group. Immediately I knew, I wasn't offended at all.
No way, not a chance.
It's just a very telling thing. And now when I listen to it, that was the only way to do this song. But even though the chord patterns and the melodies are pretty much original, the overall atmosphere went pretty much tipsy-turvy.
Yeah, it did. It completely flipped itself into a.
Yeah.
Once we all felt that was the direction for it, that let's go candlelit and quite quiet in like an empty, old sacred place with it, and let's see where we can take it from there. And
that's something that happened a lot during the mixing process. We actually muted a lot of things here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
How about
Absolutely.
let's take that away?
Yeah.
There was like the second chorus of "I Hope My World Is Kind."
Absolutely.
Let's take all the keys away, stuff like this all the time.
Again, now these things, if it wasn't AURI, there'd be conflict. Then there would be, because I know what it's like. Well, Tuomas knows. We all know what it's like.
Right.
So if it wasn't AURI, there would be conflict. The song "Desert Flower," that went over, and
we
cut
suggested
a
to
whole
cut
section out of it.
Yeah.
It was a repeat. It was a repeat of a bridge, and I sent it over, and I remember I got an email saying, "Now, it might be a bit drastic. You might think it's a bit drastic, but I think it's really good." I went, "Oh, okay, let's have it." And I was like, "Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect." But I couldn't hear it any other way. Like Tuomas couldn't, you both couldn't hear Underthing, other than a big, bombastic kind of thing. But Desert Flower was like, you can't cut that piece out, surely. But it was cut out, and it made it perfect. It made it so much more perfect. And of course, there was no, I want to keep that in there.
No.
There was none of that, because I knew it was right, and they knew it was right. We were right.
So everything to service the song in a sense.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Then, because you mentioned kind of the emotional roller coaster it takes, and melancholy, and another one that stuck out for me a little bit was Savant. So I wondered what kind of was the inspiration or the mood behind that one.
I think the clue might be in the title.
The clue is in the title. Yeah,
Well,
you don't want to go too deep. And once somebody translates the poem in the end, that's another hint.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm not sure if this is correct, but what it reminded me of was a James Horner soundtrack on A Beautiful Mind, which has a...
right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a splendid film.
So, but can I assume that
I think
it's
you
kind
might
of...
be on the right tracks.
Yeah.
There are no
yeah.
right tracks, but I mean you're on the tracks,
Yeah,
on the
you're-
same tracks as we were.
You're heading in the right
making it.
direction.
Yeah,
I'll leave it alone then.
yeah, exactly.
Then in
I
terms
haven't
of
heard that score. I haven't even seen that film.
It's good. It's a good film.
it's quite
But
good.
James Horner, we love James Horner.
And in terms of the themes, then, Johanna, I think I saw something on your Facebook where you wrote, "This is a story." I have to remember it correctly. This is a story for the slightly broken people, which is a little bit by. And I can't find the author anymore.
Patrick Rothfuss.
That's it.
Yeah.
But why this little quote?
I remember I used it on the booklet of my Christmas album a few years back, after I'd read the book, The Slow Regard of Silent Things. And it really struck a chord in me. The way, I mean, what it says, that line, and what it means to me is that there is such beauty in imperfection in us all. And the way we are imperfect is sort of, it's all about the journey, not the destination. And us being here and trying to figure out who we are, and, struggling at times, like we can share that same brokenness, like we've all been hurt by life and kissed by it as well. So I don't know, for me that was just the quote I wanted to sort of incorporate. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful piece of literature, that.
Right. And how did that, because it's about the Kingkiller Chronicles, how did it affect kind of the writing for this album?
It did a little bit. It's people have this misconception that this is like a full concept album of his books, and couldn't be further from the truth. But there are a few passages in the lyrics like the word Foxen, for example, or Underthing, that are inspired by his books.
So it's not heavily inspired.
No, the 3 songs.
3 songs, yeah.
In that sense, then, because well, what you mentioned is it, and kind of your approach to this whole project, was that same as you mentioned, not trying to be too perfect, just giving it a go and seeing where you end up?
Well, it was not really. The way we instinctively work isn't really improvisational. So it was never, let's give it a go and let's see which way the wind blows, as it were. Once these pieces of music started to formulate, they did drive themselves, but we were heavily involved. We were all heavily involved, and we were all placing the bricks in the make up the house. We were all building the thing as we went along. But we definitely had a destination sound,
right,
and a spirit to what we wanted. It was just a matter of collating everything and making it as close as possible to how we felt.
This is going to be maybe impossible to describe them, but what was that feeling, or what was that spirit?
It's impossible to describe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's why we made this album, because we can't really put it in words.
But it's all locked in the music, and you can access it. It just depends on your approach to it.
Well, let me rephrase it then. Sorry for.
Okay, yeah.
What do you want people to take away from listening to the album back to front, or front to back?
I hope that people are able to dissolve themselves and everything they are, and take a little trip while listening to the album.
Yeah.
Just for a little while, dissolve themselves and disappear for a while.
Remember that there's still mystery left in this world.
Yeah,
that's it.
Very last question then: is that a difficult thing in this day and age with so much information, social media? Is the mystique?
There's so much noise.
There is.
There's so much noise, and what I mean by noise is not necessarily loud music, but vain stuff and vain music, vain commentary, dialogue,
terrible
music
negative,
competitions, all that nonsense.
Terrible information constantly being thrown at us.
Yeah, so
negative information masquerading itself as important, masquerading as somehow authoritative, and all the time this noise, all the time. And AURI is for us an antidote to that noise. And I think it gets to the core of AURI that's just been revealed to me now, that it is an antidote to noise for me and for us, I'm sure. Well, for all of us.
That's a good way of putting it.
It is. So hopefully it'll be an antidote for noise.
That's what we wanted to create, because noise in itself is really inspiring.
Yeah.
It makes you want to push for doing music albums.
Yeah, it does.
Music like this.
Again, a lovely, an ingenious paradox, as Gilbert and Sullivan said.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on. So
Brilliant.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It was lovely. Really lovely.